A YouTube world, look, a fast game's a good game, so let's get right into it. I'm looking at different pellets that I've tried in my Daisy Powerline 880S. I'm going to try and save you some time and money and give you my unwanted opinion on what operates best, not only for shooting and accuracy and performance, but to load. We all know these things can be a little finicky to load. If you've got one, you know what I'm talking about. I do not use BBs. They are easy to load, but I don't use them. I use pellets only. So let's get right into it. I've tried many different pellets. I've got some packages here. Some I've thrown the packages away for. So I'm going to cover them one at a time. So I'll come back in a minute with my first one. I'm going to work from my least favorite to my most favorite. Back in a minute. Okay, my least favorite is your standard, right off the shelf, El Cheapo pointed pellet. The Crosman pointed. Cheap, like $3 at Walmart for, what is that, 250. Medium weight, pretty standard, 7.4 grain. They work okay. The point is fine, but they're an evenly balanced pellet. Let me get my pointer in here. Right, sort of an evenly balanced pellet. And it's fairly light, so I do find loading is, like probably 4 out of 10 when I drop them in and load them. 4 out of 10 end up all cockeyed and crooked and whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's a pain in the ass. So nothing to see here. Let's move along. Next least favorite, can't remember what they're called. Threw away the package. Spent a fortune on these. 125 count pack. $13. I know it's insanity. $35 for the air rifle. $13 on 125 pellets, but I did it all for you. Sort of a basic pointed pellet with a polymer skirt. This one I drove at 10 pumps into some pine board, so it spread nicely on a fairly reasonably firm target. I don't think you'd get that spread out of a bird or a rodent. Very light though, very lightweight. They were under 7 grains, so I did find some flyers. Short distances, but just not worth the $13. Okay, Red Flight, threw away the packaging for those. I've had these for quite a while. $10, I think there was about 150. Very nice pellet. I did do a video I shot at about 25-30 feet. I used my Crosman 1377 into a 17-ounce can of tomato sauce. Very nice, good impact, did a lot of damage. You've got the point which breaks away, and then the lead pellet spreads quite nicely. But these are also pretty light, and I do find loading these, a lot of dicking around too. 5 to 6 out of 10 will go in straight. So that leaves you, 4 or 5 out of 10 that land crooked, and you've got to sit there fiddle with. So nice pellet, good impact, difficult to load. A little bit light, so once again, good for short distances. Alright, now we're getting into some stuff that I like. The Crosman Gold Flight. These were, I'm trying to remember the price, I've had these for a while too, $9 or $10 for 125. But these are heavy, you're getting up to 8.5 grains now, so we're starting to get a little bit more weight, and what I like is the weight is up front at the head or the point of the pellet, and that's really nice. These have got a really nice, good, sharp point, so good impact and some good penetration from the point and also the weight. I'm going to spend a bit more time on this one because it's the best feature. Well, first of all, let me say, what I've noticed with any of these pellets, you get a pellet that's heavy up the front at the head instead of being balanced, right? Everything that I've shown you so far is more balanced. So I find them, they drop and land wonky in the when you're loading them. So the ones with heavier up front in the head, they seem to both be the most reliable. Like 9 times out of 10, they land exactly as they should. You close the bolt and you're ready to fire. Best feature with these things, without a doubt though, the reservoir for the BBs. Every pellet I buy, I empty it out and I put 20 to 25 pellets in there. Then I tip the gun over to see how easy they are to come out. Now everything has been a nightmare to get out, as you can see, except for these gold flights. Best feature, best thing about these gold flights, I've got 25 in there now and I can still fit more. 30 to 30, I haven't pushed it, I'll get back to you later on that, but there's at least 25 in there now. I open the door, I tip the rifle sideways, and they come out. So really cool idea to have these as extra. If you're just putzing around, plinking around the yard, or if you've got some property, you probably just want to putz around and plink with your cheap stuff. If you then spot a rodent or a bird that you want to take out, open your little door, pull out the good stuff, and away you go. So that's a really nice feature with these gold flights. They go in and out of there really easily. So let's move on. Okay, Gamo silent cats. I love these silent cats. Again, see, we're starting to get into the stuff that I like because it performs well. They're easy to load, but they do. These guys cost a bit more money. Once again, these were, I think, $7.97. They're right around $8 for 150 count. But look, 10.5 grains. That's heavy for a .177. These things are nice. They've got a very long skirt, so they hold good air. I do go to 11 to 12 pumps with these guys, okay, to keep, to make up for the extra weight. But a very nice, they're accurate, got a nice rounded nose, good penetration, good weight to do some damage. And these are a really very, very nice pellet to shoot with. Nice and accurate, so good and heavy. Once again, they're heavy up the nose, right? So they drop straight in. You drop them in, boom, they sit 9 times out of 10. They drop in straight, you shut the bolt, you shoot. Okay, the old faithful Crosman hollow points. We all know these. Good pellet. Once again, a little heavier. Most pellets are around 7.4, 7.3. We're up to 7.9. And what I like is the extra weight seems to be in the head of the pellet, not the skirt. Very good for loading. As I said to you, everything that I find that's a little forward heavy loads very reliably in this gun. Okay. You've got a rounded nose, so good velocity. These are accurate, reliable. You can just, I shoot a lot of targets on paper plates and pellet after pellet after pellet, really tight group. The hollow point is small, but it certainly makes a difference. You pop sparrows with these, they're pretty much done. So, yeah, very nice pellet. My second favourite, actually. Quite good. Last but nowhere near least, my favourite, all-round favourite, not just in the .177, but I have these in the .22 for my Umarex Octane, and I find the same thing in the Octane. Very reliable, accurate, pellet after pellet. Really nice tight groups, nice and accurate. We are going back a little bit lighter than the hollow point, and certainly a lot lighter than the Gold Flight or the Silent Cat. But these destroyers, man, they do exactly that. I've tried them on all kinds of targets, from sparrows to plastic bottles to baked bean cans. Best of both worlds, a hollow point with a point. So you get a dual impact there. You can imagine attaching a knife to a sledgehammer. The point pierces the target nicely, and then you've got that hollow cup that's just like a punch in the gut. So, imagine being stabbed and then punched. That's kind of what you got here. And I notice even 4 or 5 pumps with this air rifle, I shoot sparrows at about 40 to 50 feet, and they're just down. You hear this pop. They kind of explode from the cup, the hollow point, and they're just done. It's just over. They don't flap around on the ground. They're just gone because it's quite a hard impact. But these load pretty nicely. Not as nice as the heavier pellets. Okay, the better loading ones are the hollow point here because it's 7.9 grains, heavy up front. The Silent Cat and the Gold Flight, they are the best to load. I would say, the ones I just mentioned, 9 out of 10 times, they land nicely in here. The Destroyer, I would say 7 out of 10 lands correctly. That leaves you with 3 out of 10 that end up, like sideways or backwards or something like that. So, which is a bit of a pain in the bum. Certainly the best to shoot, the most accurate. If you want to bring down an animal, certainly the most humane and the best performance that way for sure. Something with a very sharp point, you got more of a chance of going through and through, but that doesn't always bring them down immediately. something like this, as I said, that's like a stab and then a punch in the gut with a sledgehammer, this just stops them. So, but a little more finicky to load. So in closing, as far as loading, which if you got one of these, you know what I'm talking about, that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. The Silent Cat, nice and heavy. The Gold Flight and the Hollow Point are the best for loading. But all round, you can't beat the Destroyer. All right, that's enough. Sorry for talking fast, but I hate these long drawn-out videos, so I've gone 10 minutes now. I was trying to keep under 10 minutes, so here's where I shut up. Thanks for watching.